You're listening to another episode of the Coaster101 podcast. I'm Andrew Stillwell, and if you've been following our website at all over the past 6 weeks, you would know that we held our annual Park Mania competition, voting. Not really a competition. It's a popularity contest is really what it is when it comes down to it. It saw 68 parks kind of be whittled down to a final winner, and after 92,000 votes cumulatively, we were able to declare Carowinds as the winner of the 2021 Park Mania. In celebration of that big victory, I'm joined on the podcast this week by Patrick Wisniewski, who's digital marketing manager for Carowinds. Patrick, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad we were finally able to do this.
I know it's been a while, and nothing like holding a victory parade six weeks after you won the title. But it's in the world we live in, anything goes. So we've had to delay your victory parade, but here it comes.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. Yes, indeed. Feels great.
Perfect. And Patrick, you've been at Carowinds for about 2 years now. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my full-time, I've been here almost full-time in 2 years in June, I believe, which is, wow, time flies. But I've been on and off at the park since 2013 in various seasonal roles throughout the years. But really, I grew up in the area as a fan of the park. I've always loved theme parks in general. Those are the things that really inspired me, was being transported to other places and other stories. And I was really sparked as a child and loved theme parks. And growing up in the area in North and South Carolina, I've lived in both states, gone to school in both states. Really, both places have felt like home, but Carowinds especially always felt like home. I've lived super close to the park for most of my life, and I would come as a kid and really be inspired by everything that I'd seen and had so much fun with my friends. Like I said, it's a part of the culture, really, in the Carolinas, a part of everyday life, whether that's going with friends, going with school groups, and different things like that to the park. And my friends and I would count how many times during the summer that we would go. I think the highest I got was 35, but I'm sure many fans out there have gotten way more than that. That's what I remember from my childhood, just coming as much as I could and loving all that there was to offer. And that really inspired me to say, hey, I want to work in theme parks. And so my first role at Carowinds, I started out in entertainment, and my first job was an evil T-ball player in the playground scare zone, which was a blast, coming up with all sorts of twisted baseball puns to scare guests with, which were great. And I had an absolute blast with that. And I'd gone to school at UNC Charlotte. I'm a UNC Charlotte alumni. So I went back to school and went on a variety of different journeys at different theme park companies in Orlando, and freelancing and all sorts of stuff in entertainment and marketing. And my situation had brought me back to the Carolinas. And I said, I really want to come back home. So I went back to Carowinds in the entertainment department and was a performer as a part of the Skeleton Key program for Scarowinds in a variety of roles. And then I was a part of the Streetmosphere team for Winterfest in 2017. And I had moved on to entertainment supervision and working with characters primarily, mostly characters you'd find out in the streets, and had an absolute blast bringing together everybody through storytelling and performance, and being all that I had becoming and being a part of entertainment that I had seen throughout the years that really inspired me and brought me hope was wonderful. And really, this role as the digital marketing manager really combined both of my worlds. But really, I had gotten a lot of experience in marketing and had a lot of those skills, and this role had come up, and I combined my skills in marketing with my love of theme parks into my current role here as the digital marketing manager, where I help tell the story of Carowinds and the place I love through our digital content and communicating with our guests and all sorts of things like that. So, but it's been an amazing journey. If you were to tell me as a kid, hey, you're going to help tell the story of Carowinds to guests and to be a part of that, it would have blown his mind. So I'm so fortunate to be able to be where I am and to do what I do. It's just a tremendous honor, and I'm really humbled to be a part of something I'm so passionate about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to blow up your spot, but you and I, we kind of grew up with we've talked offline, and we grew up with a similar level of interests. And again, I'm not going to blow up your spot as a theme park nerd, but based on your description just now, I think our listeners can kind of determine that a little bit about you. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, yes. And you can see around, if folks could see right now, if you see my office and my home and like things I've won at park trivia contests with afterburn wheels and every bit I could carry throughout the years of keeping theme park merchandise, you probably could tell. And talking to me, you'll definitely be able to tell that. So it's something I'm proud of and connect with a lot of folks about, yeah.
On the other side of this webcam, I've got a chain dog from the Carolina Gold Rush, so I'm right there with you. We're on the same team here. But I want to talk, obviously, since you grew up as a fan, I want to talk some of your Carowinds favorites. So let's start with the big one. We are a roller coaster podcast.
Yes.
What is your favorite roller coaster in the history of Carowinds, past or present?
That's a great question. Can I cheat and say from the past and the present?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I'll go with the past. And I know this is going to be a curveball, but I had a lot of, like I'd mentioned, as a part of the culture and a lot of my history, I had a lot of theme park firsts at Carowinds. And it's amazing how my career has gone, because as a child, I was terrified of roller coasters and haunted houses. Amazing how my career turned out. But my first ever roller coaster that I had ridden was the Flying Super Saturator. And really looking back on it and just seeing how unique that attraction was is just really amazing. And I think what it was able to do was not only provide a unique experience with the dumping water buckets and things like that in the car, but on the ground too. It's kind of like a multi-layered attraction. So you can have fun on the roller coaster, but then also have a unique way that you're spraying up at the riders, right? Or you're trying to dodge the deluge of water coming down. It was just so unique for the time. And I have a lot of nostalgia for that being my first, okay, I'm going to ride a roller coaster attraction. And currently, I would say Copperhead Strike, if we're talking about current, and because of the fact that Granny, and as I mentioned, our Streetmosphere program throughout the years, Granny is a character that has tremendous place in the history of Carowinds and a lot of the entertainment department, and something that really has inspired me. And to be able to see that character be the center of a really amazing themed attraction is just super cool, right? And I'm, as you can tell, all about theming and story. And so that being a part of a roller coaster attraction at Carowinds is fantastic. But also, I just love a good launch roller coaster, right? Something that's comfortable, something that's fun, something that's very thrilling instantaneously. And that ride has so much hang time and all sorts of different maneuvers. And it's just really amazing. And that's one of the things I'm excited as we kind of get to open coming up soon, is that, hey, you got to experience Copperhead Strike for a little over a year-ish, right? And you're gonna be able to do that if you missed out. So yeah, we're excited to reintroduce that back to folks, and that would be my current favorite for sure.
Okay, and I'm going to go back to Saturator just to give a not so shameless plug. We did a series of stories last year on the website Coaster101.com. We called it 20 in 2020. There's a lot of 20s there, but Flying Super Saturator would have turned 20 last year, and there is a really good, well-written, I say that because I wrote it, article on Coaster101.com. Just search Flying Super Saturator. You'll be able to find it. But moving on from not roller coasters, same question as far as non-roller coaster attractions, past and present, your favorites.
That's a good question. Non-roller coaster, I would have to say, I absolutely love mountain gliders. Like, that's probably my favorite non-coaster attraction, just because it's kind of similar to that Saturator energy, right? Where not only is it a blast to ride and control that wing, right? But also seeing guest reactions to watching everyone fly through the sky is just amazing. And that whole area in Blue Ridge Junction, it's a great kinetic thing of what you're able to see between food, mountain gliders, and Copperhead Strike. There's just a lot going on. And I think that being a fan favorite too of mountain gliders, being appealing to a lot of different folks throughout the years and seeing in different spots. I have a lot of good memories with that attraction. I remember coming as a fan to things like Coaster Stock, like over 10 years ago. We had ERT on it. We imagine a ton of coaster enthusiasts on that attraction all at the same time with ERT. And people most definitely knew how to control those things and fly. So that was hysterical. And I just have so much fun on that attraction. It's a lot of good memories for sure.
Okay. And then if you've got your choice to have any meal at any restaurant inside of Carowinds, what are you eating?
I got to go with a Harmony Hall dish, and I got to go with the smoked wings with a side of mac and cheese and baked beans. You can't go wrong with barbecue. That's in our DNA. They do such an amazing job over there. And I will combine this, if I say, into one meal and cheat a little bit here, is right after that, I would definitely go over to Granny's Ice Cream Shop and grab some blue ice cream. And that for a variety of reasons. Not only is it a fantastic, delicious flavor right over there, but also the nostalgia with the park and our guest reaction to that has been so amazing. And I think a lot of new fans don't realize that we did have blue ice cream back in the Smurf Island days. I think a lot of people have missed that, but there are people in the area that fondly remember it. There was I was walking with someone a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about Granny's Ice Cream Shop, and then we brought back blue ice cream, and her eyes lit up, and she was like, "You brought back blue ice cream?" And I was like, "Yes." She goes, "I love that. That's amazing." And that's not the only time I've ever seen that. I've seen that with a variety of people over the years. So there's that nostalgic connection. So again, it's a part of me that I love to see our guests having fun, right? And that we're able to do that in addition to it being really amazing. So those are a few things that I would have in my ideal Carowinds meal.
Perfect. And we had Aaron Martinez from Schlitterbahn on the podcast last week, and he told us that he kind of jabbed you back and forth about the Texas versus North Carolina barbecue. So that's another debate for another day. I'm a North Carolinian. I know where my allegiances lie, but I also know that I'm not allowed to have a barbecue opinion when talking to other people. So it's we're good there. And the blue ice cream, it's definitely a crowd pleaser. I know there are other parks, specifically in the Cedar Fair chain, who claim to be known for blue ice cream. Shout out to Kings Island if they're listening. Carowinds blue ice cream just as good, if not better, based on my my tastings of it.
Well, hey, we'll have a food mania. Those debates will be settled for whatever bracket out there, and let everyone decide.
Yes, 100%. And I've got one last question for you, and then we're going to move into Park Mania. What is your most favorite thing from the park's past that you can no longer experience at Carowinds?
I gotta go with some of the original characters that we had in 1973. It's another thing I think people don't realize that we had. If you look at the history of the park, it's just astounding that EPAT Hall and all of this homegrown design and entertainment, right, had sprouted up from this need to kind of bring both states together in an entertainment venue, right? Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of things that were done during that time that were done in-house, like completely there, that people don't realize. And we had a set of in-house designed characters. And when I say in-house, like they put together everything from design, from putting everything together, from running everything. It was all them. So we had Ringo Raccoon by far is my favorite. As you might see on my Twitter account, it says #1 Ringo Raccoon fan in my bio. Ringo Raccoon is a delightful character that Jerry Helms here, who's been here since 1973, talks about. He was the rock star of the park. He was everywhere. And you can see a lot of merchandise where Ringo was featured on watches, on mugs. I might have a couple mugs of brochures, plates. He was on everything. And you can see a photo we have out there of him riding around the park, like in a jalopy, like all kinds of really cool stuff. And we also had Pamela Pig, Carol Lion, I believe Hercules the dog, and there was Jinx the monkey were the ones that I remember offhand. But there's some great photos that we've posted consistently out there that you can find, and they're really delightful and fun, and just super cool to see the park in its humble early years and all the incredible stuff that they were able to put out back then.
Yeah, there is there's also a Twitter account out there. I don't know if you've come across it. It's this person who claims to be the number one Ringo Raccoon fan. So you guys might have to
I'll have to
fight
look into
for
that.
supremacy. Yeah, it's at We Want Ringo 73. Don't know much about it other than that. Just take that for what you feel it to be worth. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. Park Mania. We're throwing your virtual victory parade 6 weeks after you claimed the historic title. And it was the 5th edition of Park Mania on Coaster101.com. It's been won by parks like Silverwood in Idaho, Kings Island, Hershey Park, Holiday World. When you found out you won, how did it feel?
It felt amazing. And first of all, I want to thank you and Coaster 101 for putting something like this on. I just think it's really fun. It's a really fun interaction to have with people from across the internet in all kinds of different locations. It's just amazing, a great time. So thank you all for putting this on. And really, it's just so wonderful to see the support that we had from not only our fans, but people who had been to the park years ago and didn't know about some of the new offerings that we had. I saw that a lot of people saying, "Oh, I remember going to Carowinds a long time ago. Look at all this new stuff they have." So people finding out about us and our presence and are just people coming and supporting us. And that's what we're all about, is giving our guests an absolute fun time. And that could not happen without the support of all of our guests and our fans. So it was really wonderful to see everybody putting their support behind us, and to be able to do that, just seeing week after week was just astounding. So it felt great, my friend. It really felt great.
That's awesome. And I mean, you knocked off some serious, heavy hitters in your
Tell me about it.
your quest for the title here. I'm looking back at the bracket. You had Six Flags Over Texas. You had Silverwood, who won in the past. You had Knoebels, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Cedar Point, and then you guys managed to knock off Dolly and her Magic theme park in the finals. You personally, as a digital marketing person, what was your motivation to win and kind of get behind it? I will say, as the person who kind of puts this competition on, some of the parks really get behind it. You guys, for example, were into it for a while, and a couple other parks. SeaWorld is another one who kind of comes to mind, who just kind of hopped in and out and was telling people to vote. But what was your personal motivation to win?
Really, even, and I would say winning is definitely nice, but the main intention, I think, really, what I say all the time is that we are where the Carolinas come together, right? And especially now, finding ways to bring people together through things like this. We've been trying to find ways to do that when we can't sometimes physically be together, right? So this was another good opportunity to just have fun and talk to our fans, and just connect with others in the industry, like you had mentioned. We had such a fun time talking to SeaWorld, and still do. They're fantastic. Silverwood as well was another great interaction that we had, and going back and forth. And our fans love that, because a lot of the time you might think of like Carowinds and SeaWorld and their competitors, but it blew people's mind that they're talking on Twitter like about random topics. #Gentle Breeze Squad. You never would think that Universal, SeaWorld, and Carowinds might be talking a conversation, but it happened. So I think that was the main drive, is to kind of make those connections and celebrate with each other virtually. And really, like, winning is the cherry on top of the sundae. Like, I think that's the main point I would have.
Got it. And I do want to go back. You did touch on it a little bit with the #Gentle Breeze Squad. You guys, you got a tweet from Universal asking what a Carowind was, and you brought up the old original Carowinds theme song. When this whole thing started, did you think you would have to defend yourself on social media to Universal and SeaWorld and all these big, I use big in air quotes, Orlando parks, by citing the Carowinds theme song as your evidence?
Not in my wildest dreams, but I love that I had the opportunity. It was so cool, and you can see currently by going to my Twitter profile that it is that tweet. Universal's tweet is currently my cover photo. That's how much I love it. I just had gotten a random notification and I saw, Universal, and I'm seeing all this traffic, and it was. Is a Carowin? Yeah, is a Carowind a gentle breeze, and then SeaWorld us going back and just taking advantage of that mantle and picking it up, and people really responding to that was just so fun. Like you said, it's something you couldn't even imagine, right? And
Yes.
that's what this kind of competition puts together, and allows creativity that you wouldn't think of before to happen. So
Yes.
just so cool, yeah.
And if you're looking to find that Twitter header, Patrick's personal Twitter is at PW Storyteller. Go check that out if you get a chance. But to the victor goes the spoils, and so as part of your victory parade, I'm going to let you go into your best 2021 Carowinds spiel. And the first question I've got, and we touched on this a little bit on last week's podcast with Kelsey from Valley Fair and Maggie from King's Dominion and Aaron from Schlitterbahn. How does it feel to reopen on somewhat of a more normal calendar? I know you guys had your quote-unquote 12 days of Christmas with Taste of the Season last year, but to have some semblance of a summer season and a core season, how does that feel for you?
It's just so heartwarming and just so amazing. I talked to you, Andrew, offline about this. And the other day, you'll see we've posted things on our channels where our rides are operating and testing right now. We're getting ready for everyone. And just see rides operate. It's just truly amazing seeing our park come to life, right? And that's what I said during Taste of the Season and what we're here for is our guests and to bring you an amazing time and a fun time. And to be able to do that is a privilege. And to see that and welcome people back for some old favorites that they haven't gotten a chance to ride in over a year. I mean, Fury 325, right? People are going to absolutely clamor to get to that, right? And we're so excited to be able to see that and have that offering. And as I mentioned earlier, Copperhead Strike, and only having a limited time for some folks who hadn't gotten a chance to check that out. Shout out to the members of the Strike Squad. We have another squad in addition to the Gentle Breeze Squad.
So many squads.
All the squads. So, yeah, to offer that is going to be really great. So you're going to have a lot of old favorites that you hadn't gotten a chance to experience in a while. And I think that is going to be really special to our guests. And just seeing the sights and the sounds of rides, food, some of our entertainment that we'll talk about, having all of that back for our families and to give people a piece of joy in their everyday life is just something amazing. And we just can't wait to have everyone at the park safely this year. It's going to be great.
Yes. And you touched on those old favorites, but I've got to address the 6-lane mat racer in the room and something new at Carowinds this season, which is Boogie Board Racer. What can you tell us about Boogie Board Racer?
Another thing that we can't wait for guests to get back to is Carolina Harbor Water Park. And there's a lot of new and exciting things happening around our brand new mat racing water slide, Boogie Board Racer. 6 guests are going to be able to race each other in some fun competition down on those mats face first, going through enclosed tubes, a little bit of open areas too, into an awesome splashdown finale. Just walking into the park, I'll tell you, when you're able to see it right there at that in-park water park entrance, just the vibrancy of color draws your eye so much. And it's going to be a great beacon to the water park. It's really great. And I think that competition aspect goes to the core of who we are in the Carolinas. We love a good race in everything that we have. So that's going to be really fun and unique. And that we're excited to finally bring everybody that. We've been waiting for that for a long time. And I know our guests have too. So it's going to be a really unique experience.
Yeah, that was one of the last things I remember kind of in this pre-COVID before times is I was fortunate enough to come over to Carowinds. I took some pictures of Boogie Board Racers tubes kind of out there in the parking lot, and as soon as that was over and it was posted, the world came to an end for like a month, more than a year. Boogie Board Racer will always hold a special place in my heart and a good memory for that reason. But that's not the only new thing coming to Carowinds this year. Recently on the Park social media and the Park's blog, which you guys should be sure to check out, go to carowinds.com, find the blog. There's, again, some very well-written articles by Patrick and Lisa, a member of the #Striker squad, since we're doing all these squads here. And there's also some other articles written there by me. But on that blog, you will find a preview of Shake Central. It's going to be over there kind of in between Celebration Plaza and Camp Snoopy. But Patrick, these photos, there's no way the photos can do these milkshakes justice, right?
Yeah. So these milkshakes are going to be incredible over at Shake Central, our new dining location. These milkshake concoctions are really built to wow you, not only visually, but with taste as well. These are, if you've seen the photos we've shared on the blog, these milkshakes are stacked with all kinds of sweet treats. There's one milkshake that has a donut on top of it, stacked on top of the milkshake. It's just amazing to see. Really, you're going to have that, which is the donut shop milkshake, which I described. There's the Colossal Monster, which has a giant cookie on top of the milkshake, and I believe some raspberry ice cream. And then you'll have things like the Celebration milkshake, which are incredibly wildly vibrant, where you have pieces of candy wrapped around the top of the milkshake and a lollipop coming through the top. It's just really an unbelievably unique creation. Chef Mitch, who is our new executive chef, is so excited to welcome guests to try some of his brand new food items that he's bringing to the park. He got to during Taste of the Season for a little bit, but now we have that longer season to offer people some new creativity and some fun with our flavors at the park. So it's always going to be awesome to introduce something cool and unique for those hot summer days that our guests are going to have. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't been to Carowinds in the last couple of years, their culinary offerings have just exploded over the years between, the restaurants like Harmony Hall and Blue Ridge Country Kitchen and places like that. I mean, again, shout out to Chef Mitch and his predecessor, Chef Chris. I mean, the revitalization of the Carowinds food scene it's blown my expectations away. This isn't your typical theme park hamburgers, chicken finger, and pizza anymore, and it is so great. But you touched on Chef Mitch, and last week on the Carowinds blog, you guys are going to have some special limited time menuing offerings for Welcome Back Weekend, which is the season pass holder preview taking place on May 15th and 16th. I'm looking at these now, this caprese pizza and this 3-meat jumbo kebab, pounded pork sandwich, a West Coast turkey burger, and this thing called a crazy dog, which is a foot-long hot dog, chili, cheese sauce, crushed Cheetos, and Texas Pete sour cream. Wow. I'm speechless right now with what Chef Mitch has come up with. So that's another thing you should check out on the blog.
It's going to be awesome.
I cannot wait to get back to Carowinds, if not to ride Copperhead Strike and Fury 325, just to eat at the park. Like, that is one of the things I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah. That's what I love to do too. It's just great when you have the ability to, I want to ride a ride and try a new flavor at the park and see some entertainment or something like that. And then that might be your day. There's a lot of unique things that our park has evolved over the years, like you had mentioned, that give things that our guests might not realize that we have. And Welcome Back Weekend I want to touch on is going to be a great thank you to our pass holders. You're going to be the first ones to be welcomed back to the park before the public and to experience our offerings and some unique things like Andrew had mentioned. So some of the flavors, the exclusive flavors that Chef Mitch is cooking up for you. And what I'm looking forward to, especially, is that jumbo kebab. It's a 3-meat jumbo kebab. Chicken, pork, beef, fresh peppers, onions, mushrooms, all you could imagine skewered up for some deliciousness. So it's going to be really cool. And like Andrew had mentioned, we're going to list those on our blog, and you can find the locations that the items are going to be in. They're in a variety of locations throughout the park. So that's just one of the exclusive things. that you'll find there. And you can visit our website and see we have a listing of what we're going to offer during that. So it's going to be a super fun time. And yeah, I can't wait to see our pass holders come out and be able to offer that to them. It's super cool.
And while the again, like I mentioned, the park opened for 12 days for Taste of the Season, but in large, the park was closed for the better part of a year. I know that there have been some other improvements in the park that have been kind of ongoing. One of those, if you're familiar with Intimidator, you'll notice it's a little shinier. But what are some of those other improvements that park has made over the past year?
Right. We've been getting ready for you while we have the time. And seeing our maintenance team and all of our teams here, you've seen how hard they work to bring everything to our guests, right, and make improvements throughout the park. And that's especially true during this. While we had the time, our teams wanted to make improvements throughout the park. So you're going to see a lot of things that are smaller improvements that really make a big difference. As Andrew had mentioned, Intimidator has gotten an amazing new paint job. And a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, we're going to be featuring in our blog. So stay tuned for that. So we'll give you some behind the scenes photos and things like that. But our team worked really hard. Painting roller coasters is a very, very big project. And to watch them do that was just unbelievable. And it looks fantastic. Intimidator means a lot to me too. I remember coming to the park as a kid and wishing Carowinds had a hyper coaster and finally being able to see it, and it's just a special place in my heart. And as we've just gotten off of the 10th anniversary of Intimidator last year, that kind of caps it off really, of getting that attraction a new fresh paint and having it look unbelievable. So that's really great. And you'll find all sorts of different new wayfinding signs around the park that we'll be sharing more about too. These are themed signs that are really going to help our guests find their way around the park easier. So some of my favorites are the Camp Snoopy ones, and then there's Carolina Boardwalk, and the bottoms of them are themed to the particular area. So you might have a boardwalk pier post for the boardwalk ones, or a camping style aesthetic with different stone on the bottom, and really a lot of craftsmanship put into these kind of wayfinding beacons around the park. So that's really great. Not only beautiful, but able to provide our guests an easier way to navigate. Fans will know our candy shop is one of the original buildings left in the park. And the water wheel is a special place. And our team wanted to restore that history and maintain it, right? So they did an incredible restoration on that water wheel area. Some of you might have seen it during Taste of the Season, but they gave it a tremendous bright new paint coat on it. They had our horticulture team put in all sorts of different flowers and plants that are simply gorgeous, and something for everybody, and for those fans that will remember coming into Carowinds and driving at the old parking toll plaza, where you drive under that bridge and there would be the metal grate above you on that walkway over from season pass, the drop-off area, and you'd come over to the other side. I remember that fondly as a child coming to the park. But those iron pieces that had the CW, we actually saved those. We saved all those CW pieces, and they're a part of the fencing around that area. And they gave them another touch-up. And when I saw those in the park, I was like, oh my gosh, because I had those memories ingrained, sitting in your car and looking up, and that was the sign that, I'm at Carowinds, those little touches. So that's something that's really special to me. That's one of our favorites. Carolina Sky Tower, you'll notice, has also gotten a paint touch-up as well. So that one of the two original attractions in the park, and paying attention to that. And then you'll see in a blog that Andrew happened to write last year for us on Carolina Cyclone's 40th anniversary. We received from our friends over at Kings Island. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for your Vortex trains. But we've developed these unique hybrid this hybrid creation of new trains for Carolina Cyclone. For its 40th anniversary. And really, we took the Carolina Cyclone chassis and we added the Vortex shells, and it's a really unique maintenance project. You'll definitely want to read Andrew's blog about it at the Carowinds blog. and on Coaster 101 that really shows our maintenance team getting creative and recycling things in our system to make classics last. And have other classics live on, even though they might not be somewhere else anymore. So we're really honored to get that, and I can't wait to ride it. I saw the trains riding the other day, and it looks so good. I can't wait to be able to ride that attraction. So those are some of the things. You'll notice all sorts of little touches around the park, and we've been, like I said, getting ready for you all, making those important improvements that you'll find everywhere to make the guest experience as best as it can possibly be.
Love it. There's one more topic I want to touch on real quick, and that's live entertainment. And recently, you guys announced your 2021 live entertainment schedule. It's a little bit of a different year for entertainment this year, but while I've got a captive audience here, if you're at Carowinds, take the time to see a show. Patrick, I know you've seen the entertainment work firsthand as both a performer and as a digital marketer, but I know Ryan and his team, they put together some amazing shows year after year, and it is a step above what you would typically see at any regional park in America. So if you're at Carowinds, take the time, ride Fury, ride Copperhead, eat the delicious food, but then take a break and see a show, because I know the performers are top notch, the scripting is top notch, and now that I am going to step off my soapbox, Patrick, can you please tell our audience about the live entertainment options at Carowinds this year?
Right, you hit on it. They do unbelievable work, and seeing our guests have that moment to just celebrate with these breaks in their day and see some good old-fashioned entertainment is awesome. And this year, as you mentioned, we're going to be offering outdoor entertainment. So you're going to find different things across the midways, as well as our camp theater outdoors over in Camp Snoopy that have a lot of great music content to them. So you'll find different kind of acoustic sets or bands playing that are the Land Sharks over in Carolina Boardwalk, as well as the Ramblers over at the Crossroads Gazebo. So you have some good old-fashioned music there. And close to my heart, Carowinds, I love Snoopy and the gang. So over in Camp Theater, we have a show called Music Goes Round and Round, and that is one of the shows I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be Snoopy and the gang kind of exploring all different periods of music. There's going to be lots of dancing and great character fun. So I think that is going to be really cool for all of our families. And then you're going to have Remix at the front of the park. And who doesn't love to dance and have fun, right? You kind of got a taste of what our dance parties could be like at Taste of the Season last year toward the Celebration Plaza area. And it's going to be a similar kind of setup where guests are going to be able to come together safely at the front of the park and dance away and have fun and celebrate together right there with each other. So there's going to be a variety of different offerings outside for guests to safely social distance and have a great time, celebrate with one another.
Got it. And there's, kind of on that same vein of entertainment, there's one thing we haven't talked about yet that might be the best selling point possible to get guests to come to Carowinds this year, and that is Grand Carnival. How excited are you for Grand Carnival?
I can't wait. I love the Grand Carnival offering. I've seen it at other parks on some of my trips, specifically King's Dominion, and my mom and I went, and we had the best time, and I can't wait for it to come to our park. And I mentioned celebration. That's the theme of a lot of what we're doing this year, but it is a true world-class celebration, Grand Carnival. Guests are going to be able to come in, and you're going to see vibrant colors and decorations all throughout the park. Is going to be really transformative and immersive, and you're going to see fantastic entertainment. You're going to see the spectacle of Color Parade, and who doesn't love a fantastic parade with the biggest earworm of a song that you will ever hear. Kick it up, up, up. It's Carnival indeed. So you're going to see these incredibly crafted floats roll through the park and such high energy performers going on all cylinders. That is going to be great. And who doesn't love food? We're going to have a variety of different flavors that you're going to be able to find find that you might not find at the park normally during the year, or possibly anywhere else in the area, really. So it's going to be a party for everyone to really spend that summertime together. And I'm really excited we're going to have that offering during that time period in the summer. It's going to be really special, and you're definitely going to want to check it out.
Yes, Patrick, okay. I completely agree. It truly is a spectacle of color unlike any other. And it's going to take place at Carowinds from July 17th to August 1st. And again, if you've never experienced a Grand Carnival, and like Patrick, I experienced it up at King's Dominion, it's so just fun. That's the best way to put it. Fun in all caps, just like Cedar Fair stock symbol. F-U-N, fun. Like, I have never experienced kind of this whole park just coming together in a complete celebration. The food's great. The entertainment's great. Check out Grand Carnival as well. Patrick, anything else that you would like to add before we put a bow on this podcast?
Yeah, we're ready to welcome everybody back to Carowinds. Some advice for our guests, go to carowinds.com. It's going to be the hub for a lot of information. So you're going to be able to find out about our enhanced health and safety procedures at carowinds.com/welcome back. That's going to give you a lot of information that will be very important to your visit. So please check that out before you come. It's going to be really, really helpful. We are going to welcome season pass holders back for Welcome Back Weekend on May 15th and 16th. We're going to be opening Carowinds on May 22nd. Reservations are going to be required. And you'll go to carowinds.com/reservations to make a reservation and to find out what you need for your situation, whether you're a season pass holder, daily ticket holder, looking to get a season pass or a daily ticket. It's going to be all right there. To keep up with us and latest information or have fun with us with memes, puns, games, all that kind of stuff, you'll go on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. At Carowinds are our handles for all the latest update information too. I really hope to see you on there and to interact with us. And on that website that I listed, carowinds.com, you can find the Airtime blog, which will go into detail about a lot of the things Andrew and I talked about today, and has a new redesign recently that features a trip planner to help you make your most amazing visit possible. So you'll definitely want to check that out as well. We're excited to finally have everyone come through those big, beautiful gates where each day is a holiday, every day is Saturday, fun never ends, Carowinds, as our classic theme song says. So I look forward to seeing everyone at the park. It's going to be an amazing time. I can't wait to see you.
That's awesome. Well, Patrick, thank you so much for the time. I'm sorry that the trophy is in the mail. It will be there presumably by the time this podcast airs, and hopefully we can get pictures of it somewhere in the park. But again, congratulations on your big Park Mania win. Hopefully when we do this again next year, you guys will see enough value in it to continue to tell everyone to vote for you, because that was part of the big deal for us, was getting the interaction from the parks. And so we appreciate that. Appreciate everyone for listening. If you're going to visit carowinds.com, you should also visit coaster101.com and follow us on social at coaster101 across all platforms. Again, there's a lot of stuff I've written about Carowinds in the last couple of years, so be sure to check that out. Go to our website, type Carowinds or Caro Blogger in the search bar. Any number of fantastic articles. And again, I say fantastic because I wrote them, will come up for you. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, fan mail, or hate mail, or want to tell us that Carowinds has the superior blue ice cream, send us an email at podcast@coaster101.com. And for the pun master general of Carowinds, Patrick Wisniewski, I'm Andrew Stillwell. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you all again soon.